congratulations to everyone from our Ignite team for, qualifying for NID Studio Test and making us so proud. So the first information that I would like to give is that for everyone who has, not completed their, forms of uploading, or it's invalid document, or, if some of your things are not clear, like, your category certificate or any kind of these things, then you are required to email the copy of the valid certificate as per the format required by the institute at admissions@nid.edu, latest by Saturday 30th May 2020. So please go to your email, please check your admit card. If this kind of information is given to you, then you need to upload the correct certificate of category. If you have a category or any of these certificates you upload wrong or invalid, please correct them by 30th May. I know a few, I don't know, Chandrika and all have received that, so kindly do it as soon as possible. You know the condition right now, it might take few days, so it's better you start early process the admission cell. If any problem or issues, or email them, they are very responsive, like they respond really quickly. Now the first thing, I hope you all have a notepad or anything where you can write whatever information we all will be giving to you. um, so when I will just tell you a brief about how my NID studio test was, and I'll just move on it to with Gaurav and then Vijendra and then Krishna sir. Um, the first thing for NID studio test is whatever seats are there into 3 times those people, those amount of students will be coming. For me, that time it happened in NID Ahmedabad itself. So the first round for me was audio round, where we were all sitting in an amphitheater and we were given questions that we could only hear. So for example, they will make you hear, I got different types of instruments. One was a sitar, one was a guitar, some different kinds of tablas and all, and you had to, they give you a sheet of form which has questions written on it, and you need to continuously fill in the answers, or you wait till all these things are finished and then answer. It's better you continuously do it. So these kind of questions came in audio. I was also told to, determine the repetition order of few things, like, in music or in poems you have A B or A B B C A C A C. I don't know if how many of you have learned that, but those kind of things come in audio. They also make you listen to few famous personalities speeches and tell you, who's this famous personality. So these kind of things I remember happened in my audio. In my visual round, there were pictures. Again, it will be completely a visual thing. There will be a projector in the amphitheater where the things will be shown to you, and a sheet of paper where you will answer the question. So I was shown, different kinds of shoes, types of shoes of different brands, and I had to answer or write the category. If it's a flip flop, if it's a sneaker, if it's a boot, I had to do that. They also showed me, images of few paintings, like few parts of images, like, umbrella, or the pull of the bridge of the Scream painting. There were flowers of the Van Gogh. So, these kind of things can come in visual round. So audio visual round is basically to check how quickly can you respond to things, how is your subconscious mind, or, whatever you have learned is um, attaining to the questions. So audio visual was this. Then the studio round, there were two things. One was the doodling exercise which was given to me, and the second was 3D model making. And in the 3D model making, I just got a soap. That's it. Nothing else was given to me. A rinse soap was given, and I was told to make a furniture for a person who is office working. Like, this was the brief given. Sofa for the office going people. Only the soap was given, nothing else. And a sandpaper was given, and, you can use your paper cutter or the table edges, and, these things, and you have to create that. So mostly NID doesn't give a lot of materials when, like, NIFT situation test. This is a completely different set of questions or things they need is more about your functionality or your design rather than how beautiful a product looks. In my doodling, it was a simple doodling that I had to, they've given me three boxes, two pictures were given, and in the third box I had to complete the scenario. So it's on my choice. I make a humorous story or I make a sad story, I make a story which is socially relevant. And the later stage, it was an interview round. At that time, it used to happen on your portfolio. This year, like last year we have seen, or the last to last, it was completely on the work you do in studio test. So this was my thing. um Over to you, Gaurav. Can you share your experience now?
Yes, Rimjim. So yeah, it was long back. I think you have given that exam, right? And I think it's the still traditional way of doing um, their selection. Yeah, they don't have interview. That's like 2 3 years back they stopped doing that. And yeah, and like I can see so many known faces there. Like it's quite good to see you guys. Like it's very good. I mean, now I can imagine like how good you guys are in one level, but now also at the same time you have to think that other people who will be joining for the exam, they will be also at the same level. Okay. Yes, you have to follow all the instructions which are given by NID. Keep checking on NID website because currently COVID scenario is happening, and you will get different sort of notifications and scenes can be changed. Okay, so yeah, basic knowledges has to be there, like making sketches and making prototyping through paper and everything. That should be there. Okay, that you guys are learning everything. But what will be the difference? Okay, what extra can you do about it? So the very first thing is technology. Okay, uh, you have to go through all the technologies which is available in the market and how they're doing. Try to understand their applications in terms of product design, in terms of mobile applications, or any interior home interiors. Fine, these all things you have to go through it, because wherever we are going, wherever we are exploring our field of design, technology matters because it helps us to expand more. Okay, so when we have a good expand, then there is a good number of requirement. Okay, and yeah, accordingly salary happens. So yeah, the technology matters. Another thing is sketching. So there are n number of things to be drawn: objects, live objects, human anatomy. Okay, buildings, then different angles of like different perspectives from different creatures, like eagle view, frog view, insect view, then view from underwater. Like there are so many things. These things, I mean, perceptions are there. Okay, so we cannot practice everything at the same time, everything, right? Because right now we are not coming from art institute that we have a good background in it, or we are not learning it on the regular basis at like we are not learning any particular things for the long term, right? In design, what happens, anything we have to draw, because in exam they can give you any sort of question, maybe related to product design or footwear or apparel or maybe graphics or anything. So you have to draw, like you should be able to draw these things. So in that, learn some basic techniques. I'll give you one example. If in that, if they ask you to design a watch. Okay, so yes, you will be designing watch, you will be designing typography in that, then the dial in that, then you have to make the front view, side view, isometric view of it. Also, at last, yes, how it will look on someone's hand, what will be the proportion of it. So indirectly, can you understand, can you link how many drawings are we making? Anatomy, gadgets, then different angles of gadgets, then typography. Like so many things are coming up at one place. Even if you are a watch designer, let's say as a profession you are a watch designer, but still you have to draw these surroundings, these environments to support your ideas. Okay, so these are like basic sketch which you should be learning. Fine. Another one is empathy. This is the main word you should like. It's a bible for you, like in this design. Okay, why? Because whenever we going to design anything, so it is for some sort of user. There is target customer, there are uh, particular age group which we are designing for. Okay, like footwear or furniture or bed sheet or prints or graphic, whatever discipline you take, there are some particular age group. Okay, so by the time when you design, you have to empathize with that user. If whatever the furniture I am designing, let's say furniture, if I am designing for this particular age group, how he or she will react to that, whether he will accept that form, how comfortable it will be. Okay, so you have to put your legs on their shoes. Okay, this is very important. Now for example, if you are making some shop, small shop design for roadside vendors. Okay, so you have to think from them, from perspective of them, like what is their education, what are their problems, what sort of technology they know, like what sort of technology they understand, what is the what is phone for them, what sort of apps they use. So when you know all this, then only you will be able to make design for their future, and you will be able to use technology, because there are so many technology, very cool technologies are there, but you cannot apply everything anytime. You have to understand what is going on, how people will react. Like if you ask any 60-year-old to use iWatch, then how many they will use? Maybe people will use because some because of their growth, they are in technology field from the very beginning, that's why maybe they will be able to use. But there are again large number of groups which they don't even know how phone looks like or how phone operates. They still use keypad wala phone. Okay, so multiple things are happening. So first is empathizing. Okay, now go to the open source while learning. There are NID website, then IIT website, where you will get e-resource that is called e-library. Okay, there you will get all the research, all the data, all the terminology. Whenever you're going to explain anything, try to use terminologies so that it will be very clear from your perspective. Okay, use those terms, design terms or technology terms or anything you want to define particularly. Otherwise everything will be on air, and all your design will be hypothetical, means it's a waste. Understood? So this is again one approach. Skills what you should be having is sketching, prototyping, and time traveling. Okay, now what is time traveling? So through sketch, if I ask you to draw a scenario of 1940, and then draw a scenario of current situation, then draw a scenario of future, so you should be able to understand what sort of strokes I should use, what sort of shadow, lights, material I should give, so that it defines the particular time. Okay, it's not that always they will give you some design related question. Okay, design a bottle for this particular group. No, they can give you some scenario like, okay, I think 2-3 years back there was a question that like you are traveling, you and your family together, you're traveling a train and you're sitting on a upper berth. Okay, and you're looking down. Now draw the view. So Now what will be the scenario, the train scenario, the luggages over there, the humans, what you can see, the and the narrow perspective down, that whatever you will be able to see, then down floor, you have to empathize, you have to be present at that angle, at that moment, and then you will be able to make, right? So those things will be, I mean, these should be in your skills, these things you should be practicing. Okay. and yeah, we all know that that COVID thing is heating up so well. Okay, so I think you might get some question related to that. Okay, so what my suggestion is, try to understand the difference between facts and opinion. Okay, because when we Google, we get so many things due to SEO of Google. Google is nothing but a search engine, it is not a fact machine. Okay, so anyone can put any data, right? So that should be like your eagle eye, that how to get the actual fact, actual data, so that when you design something, it will be practical. Okay, it won't be like here and like here, why. Okay, so that's what you will be practicing again. And yeah, I mean, that's what my experience is. Do not compare yourself with any other artist in Instagram or Behance or Pinterest, right? uh, you should compare your own work, daily work, like how you are progressing. Use our feedback and see what all things you are applying on it, and how like, and combine everything, like how you are managing the time, how you are making the objects beautiful. Yeah, it should look beautiful, it should, the sketch should look neat, everything should be like now in standard, because you are one level above. Now no turning back. Okay, no one will understand that, okay, this guy doesn't know a sketch, but now the concepts are really good. No, you have to be good both the side. Okay, I mean, push yourself, push yourself to make a neat drawing at least. Understood? So that whatever message you are trying to convey through your sketches, through your concept, it will be easier for examiner to understand and give you marks. Okay, so that's what. And yeah, there are few terms like circular design, which is new in business. Try to check out these word, what is it, um, and relevant words. You might go through few websites. Okay, there is one website called McKinsey. Try to, I mean, they produce news forums and everything, so just be up to date. Okay, fine. Over to Vijender.
Thank you so much, Gaurav sir. Vijan sir, am I
Yeah.
audible for you?
Yes, yes.
So yes, sir. Now you can share your screen and tell the students what we are going to teach them and how they can optimize themselves from our curriculum.
Okay. All of you, congratulations, many congratulations. And I can see so many familiar faces. And through our effort, through your effort, everything combined, we got one of the best results this time. So it's been in our history, and we have to maintain this thing. Now you remember, I think I have interacted with HSR students and Indiranagar students as well. And some of the new students are there I'm not very aware of, but of course you will have interaction with me and Rimsi ma'am time to time, and Gaurav sir will give you some expert classes based on your performance and whatever the planning we are doing right now. So you might be remembering, so many of you have attended my class, that I told you in the very beginning that your preparation for second phase also is happening right now. And it's not like that, it's happening right now. It's been started since you were born. Okay. And if I'll have to trace back that thing little further, I will trace back when your seed was planted. Okay, questions comes from anywhere else. It's about life, design. You are going to design people's life, design for people. right? So you need to understand that all the question, any kind of question will come, you know, all the questions, all the answers, you know. You just need to make yourself calm, trace back to your experiences, and bring up problem solving ideas and express. That's all you need to do. It's not a rocket science, nothing. It's a very common sense, and you need to work on that. So couple of things, I have made a plan here, and we discuss about that, and we are going to share you with all these plans. What are the things you need to pay attention on last? When is the examination, Rimji ma'am, Gaurav sir? Is there any date announced for the examination?
Dates are
No.
till now, dates are not announced.
Okay, so we are taking this thing as a 15 days exercise plan, and in 15 days exercise plan you'll be having various classes based on your personality development, design personality. When I'm talking about personality, that means design personality, and that includes everything related to your communication skill, your gesture, your overall presentation in front of, like you say, visual or communication based anything. So that is going to be one exercise, and some material based exercise will be happening. Here the material based exercise is a little bit different than what you are experiencing for NIFTs. Not very much, but I'll share you the plan how it happens. And another segment is that your observation based exercises will be there. I hope everyone is making notes. Please keep on making notes. So observation based exercises will be there, and after that creative based exercises will be happening, and at the end you'll be having your theory based exercises. So these are like 5-6 categories are there, and I'll share you what are the things we're going to do in those exercises. At the 50 what 50 like 60-70% your preparation is already done. You just need to recall things and put it in a perfect manner so that you'll be able to share your plan. So everyone can see my screen here. Okay, so material explorations. So material explorations here, it's little bit tricky. In NIFT is you know that is very aesthetic driven institutions, and NIDs, the design part when you're talking about is it's a quite practical and design based institution where practicality and problem solving ideas works more than the aesthetic. Of course aesthetic is there, you have to maintain overall presentation, but first we have to think of the problem solving ideas. Okay, so in the material based things you'll be provided with very limited material, not like NIFTs they give like 10-12 materials like that. In NIDs you'll be having like maximum of 5 different materials. That's the maximum I'm telling. You might be given like one material also and you have to work with that. So very limited material, and when limited material comes, there comes the practicality, because you can't do so much of cutting, fringing and all this stuff. Your idea has to be practical. Okay, we'll discuss about those things in next exercise, how you're going to achieve all those things. The techniques you are going to explore mainly is going to be cutting, folding and molding techniques. Okay, so you'll be having your, and maybe carving also you'll be getting. So you'll be having like maybe soap or clay or something like that. You'll be do carving and molding and embossing kind of technique. You might get some metal wire, those kind of stuff. So you'll be needing to practice for folding and twisting, those kind of techniques, right? Cutting techniques is going to work for the primarily for papers, but you don't get that much of paper, but you might get, you never know like what kind of things you are going to get. The whole idea is you will get a limited stuff. The second exercise is going to be about design process. So this is the very primary part of any kind of exercise you'll be going through in your examination, because when you go for examination there will be 4 different kind of exercises you have to appear. Last year it happened like that. There were 4 different kind of exercises, and all of the students, they had to appear in every exercises. Last 2 exercises, there were 3 jurors in that. Like you had to present yourself, like audiovisual round, a story building round, and your personal presentation also was there. It's not like an interview and like the GD or something. It's not like that. It's just your presentation. You have to talk about yourself. So I'll share you how it was happening last year. So design process and thinking, principle of design, and all of these things we have done also previously, right? Human empathy in design. You need to understand the connection with human. Rocket science nahi banana hai, okay? We don't have to go on Mars. We have to make Earth like Earth, okay? And we have to make people like people. We have to design for people, right? So human empathy in design, emotional design. We'll talk about in the classes in detail how these things work. You have to think about the practicality, usability of the design, and scalability, because there comes the sustainable design prospect as well. So scalability of the design is also very important. Futuristic design, you need to think about the future, because you are going to be designer for the future generation, right? So those things which are relevant today might not be relevant tomorrow. Are you there to visualize what should be there tomorrow, or how you can improve the experience of people by designing things of tomorrow? Okay, so you need to understand that biomimicry is one of the thing where you can take a lot of inspiration, and you in examination also you might be asked something like that, where you have to inspired from certain animal or bird, because you know that the mechanism works like that. If mm, I want to start the class right now, but the whole idea is inspired from those organisms who are efficient in certain works in compared to us. Just for a small example, take an ant. An ant can lift a weight of more than 27 or 30 times of its own body weight, right? You can design some kind of mechanism inspired from ant, which can help people to minimize their work, to help in their effort, and it can bring them ease, and the work also will be efficient. And there has been machine designed inspired from those ideas. Okay, so you have to search about that. Like देखो नेहा को ना नींद आ रही है, पानी पियो और जोर से सांस लो, उबासी आ रही है तो ठीक है. Yeah, so you see the bullet train of Japan, and there was one question also last year in NID, that from which animal it's been inspired from. So if you see the beak of the bullet train, it produces the highest level of aerodynamics, and being on the ground, maintaining the aerodynamics becomes challenging. But you can see, if you see uh, uh, the kingfisher bird, which was the inspiration for bullet train, kingfisher, they strike from air, which is very low density, towards the water, which has very high density in compared to air. And the kind of structure they are like one of the most efficient killer in the nature, you will find out. And how their body works according to those different transition period. So you need to see some of those kind of things also, like how the organisms, microorganisms and big organisms, how they are working. You need to pay attention on that. You need to pay attention on the newses, the technological development which is happening. There are more and more. I'll share the classes and everything. Forget about this right now. About the biomimicry. Product redesign is one of the thing where you can redesign previous things, to make it a better experience. And in any way, all the products what we use, you'll find out like 95 to 96%, more than that in fact, are redesigned products. They are just innovation, they are not inventions. You see, we had tar in back then, in like almost 100 years ago, for communication. Later on, someone imagined, okay, let's convert that into television and radio. They converted it. After that, they wanted radio and television all together. They converted into some this phone, the initial phones we had, the landline ones. After that, slowly development happened, innovation happened. Now we have the smartphones, right? It's gradual process. So you need to trace back all these things, understand the chronologies and the development according to that, and after that you will plan the next, what could be the next. Okay, so product redesign works according to that. Sustainable design is one of the big thing, and all of you need to understand the importance of that, and read some newses, the sustainable design development. Mark that this is one of the most important topic, and it's going to be for every examination, especially the design you're talking about. The third exercise is going to be about the audio visual round. For that, Rimjim ma'am nicely explained all of these things, what she has gone through in her practices and in her examinations. So those things you need to practice, like various sound effects of maybe like anything, yeah, anything. You just, there is no limitations. You listen to voices of birds and animals, and there are applications. You know, the best thing is that we have technology right now. I have some of the applications I have downloaded after I was researching for that. I'll share you the name of the application. You can open that and you can listen to specific birds, animals, or machines, or anything, any kind of voices. Okay, so train your observations, close your eye, put your headphone, and listen to the sounds. Understand the sounds, recognize that. If you're not recognizing that, look at the word, what kind of thing is making that sound. Okay, the speeches of the leaders, famous leaders, you have to listen to those things. Recognition of sound. So after recognizing those sounds, you have to build some story also. Suppose you will be listening like 4 or 5 different sounds, and you're recognizing that what kind of machine or bird or any kind of organism is that. And after the recognition, you have to build a story compiling all those words. So story writing also, that is the next exercise. In detail I'll discuss with you. Okay, and after that, watching visuals. Now pay attention on this thing. Watching visuals, motion graphics, understanding momentums and emotions, how the scenes are flowing, moving from one side to another, and creating another different frame where the emotion is interchanged from one to another. So you need to understand that. You can watch some of the, like some of South Park is going to be a little bit more adult kind of thing, right? But Tom and Jerry will work fine. Watch those things. Tom and Jerry, Charlie Chaplin's, Mr. Bean. God Must Be Crazy 1 and 2 is the must watch for everyone. आज ही देख लो, ठीक है? Write down, these are the 2 movies. God Must Be Crazy is 2 movies where you will understand the gesture communication. It's one of the strong tool. So watch those things. Okay, you know, जितना मजे करोगे लाइफ में ना, डिजाइनर बन जाओगे तुम लोग. I hope no one is having problem with Hindi, but for them you need to be having fun. If you're not having fun, छोड़ दो, forget about the designing. And having fun means how productively you are using those funds. Okay, so maintain, focus on that. One more thing you need to watch. Please write down, make a note of a couple of documentaries which are very important for these design examinations. Objectified, Urbanized, the whole series of Abstract. On Netflix you'll find it, the first season, and the first season Netflix has released on YouTube as well, all 10 episodes. So watch them. And Helvetica is not that important. Okay, these 3 documentary you have to watch. Okay, and watch the development happening in Singapore. Singapore is one of the going to be like one of your big inspiration for news and innovations in design. So Singapore में जो कुछ भी हो रहा है ना, उसको देखते जाओ, ठीक है? Singapore, Hong Kong, some of the, like, so many. Singapore is going to be like one of the most greenest city, and it is right now. In fact, after the Luxembourg, the statistics is Singapore is like second most green city. Yet it has 97% urbanized city. Like only 3% is there is a rural area. Those 3% rural areas are made by laborers who are working there. and that too, that rural area is like Delhi, kind of. Okay, so watch, pay attention onto Singapore a little. Okay, the fourth, I think we have to reconnect again, Gaurav sir. Gaurav.